بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين. وصلى الله على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين فقد كذبوا بالحق لما جاءهم فسوف يأتيهم أنباء ما كانوا به يستهزئون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. In connection with some of the beginning verses of Surah Al-An'am, we are with the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are carrying this discussion which mostly centers around the issues of aqaid and beliefs, that we need so much today to first of all satisfy our own quest for truth, and also as a basis for motivating our new generation. All of us need to be really convinced and sure about the haqa'iq of deen. And the haqa'iq and usul of deen are not limited to these five which we count on our fingers. These are things that ulama put together, that to draw a line, you have to believe anyways. But then there are so many other things which are also part of our usul of deen. For example, the issue of shifa'at of Ahlul Bayt, or raj'at, or so many other issues which are or wilayat of Sayyidah Fatima Al-Zahra Salamullah alayhi, and many other issues. These ayat 4 and 5, I will translate them. And when the signs, a sign among the signs of Allah come to them, and whenever a sign of the signs or a communication of the communications of their Lord come to them, they turn away from it. They have surely belied the truth when it came to them. So the truth and the real news of what they used to ridicule will come to them. We discussed the issue of Tawheed, some of the points related to it. We don't want to go too much into depth or arguments or stuff like that, because really these Majalis they bring together so many things, and so many of us as audience, we try to bring to our attention some of the things that will open some windows for us for our minds. Please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So these two verses are about signs of Allah coming to people. So many ways signs of Allah come to people. One of the ways are ayat of Allah. One of the uses of the word ayat or ayah is the verses of Quran. But ayah all are signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when an ayah comes to these people, a communication of Allah comes to these people, or any sign comes to them from their Lord, they turn away from it. So one sign comes, another one comes, another one comes, or one ayah comes, another one comes, they deny this, deny that, deny that. So Quran says in ayah number 5, I just translated, فَقَدْ كَذَّبُوا بِالْحَقِّ لَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ. They actually deny the whole haqq. They know that they deny the whole thing It's not just one sign over there. So this is the issue of the disbelievers and also the munafiqeen, the hypocrites, who pretend or put up this show of being religious, but their whole problem is with the whole system of Islam, which changes their paradigm and their priorities in life, which just turns everything upside down. The way they built it, this life of fantasy that they're praying and worshipping about, living their lives, and Deen comes to and begins this inner soul searching and a struggle inside, and they don't want to accept it. Why the Anbiya and Mursaleen had so few followers? Prophet Nuh for centuries, for so many, hundreds of years, and had very few followers. Because there's a key difference between the call of the prophets and the call of these politicians and, other people, reformers in the society and different groups and movements that happen. Is primary difference. These other people are calling people to change something outside of them. But the Nabi and Rasul is wanting to ask the people to change what is inside of them, which is the root cause of the problems outside, which they don't want to attend to. And they're looking for leaders who promise them money and fortune and benefits and all of those things. The Prophet said the problem of all of these things happening outside is inside of you. And unless you are salawat. That I am too proud, I am too selfish, I don't care about other people, and I'm pointing fingers at someone else. That's the problem with me, and I don't want to acknowledge it. And Nabi has to come all the way here to just let me know that the problem is, he won't say the problem is you, the problem is ourselves. But this is something that people find it very hard to accept or to do anything about it. Right? So there are two words used, Nabi and Rasul. Nabi is someone Allah communicates with. Rasul literally means a person who delivers a message. Rasul, messenger. They are lazim and malzoom. Many ulama believe that a person's Nabi is a Rasul. But there can be some differences also. I mean, in the sense that a person who has received a message from Allah but has not yet been commanded to deliver it is a Nabi, but not yet literally a Rasul to be actually going out and starting his mission, whatever it is. So people perhaps do not know this person sometimes as a Nabi, but that doesn't change the fact. And then it's given, idhab ila Fir'aun, for example, to Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, who in many ways in his life, he went into this long ghaybat. In the hadith we find this resemblance between Musa alayhi salam and Al-Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. That, he was so far away for so long and then came back. But Nabi and Rasul, both these words are used together for the same meaning in Holy Quran. Sometimes the word Nabi is used for the same thing and Rasul is used for the same thing. Rasul and Nabiya, for example. Or here in these one ayat, Surah Baqarah, ayat 213, Holy Quran says, كَانَ النَّاسُ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً فَبَعَثَ اللَّهُ النَّبِيِّينَ. People were all one, then Allah sent Anbiya, Mubashirina wa Munzirin. Anbiya was sent as Mubashirin and Munzirin. Mubashir means giving glad tidings, Munzirin means as warners to them. وَأَنزَلَ مَعَهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْبِالْحَقِّ. So Anbiya as Mubashir. Mubashir is a Muballigh and a Rasul. So Nabi is used for Rasul, right? لَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلَنَا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. We sent أرسلنا رسولنا, our Anbiya بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَأَنزَلْنَا مَعَهُمْ الْكِتَابَ وَالْمِيزَانِ لِيَقُومَ النَّاسُ بِالْقِسْطِ. surely we sent our messengers. So the Nabi was used and this Rasul used as a messenger. Someone assigned with a task, many tasks of the Anbiya, which you can go into depths of that. But in short, calling people away from shirk and into tawheed. Because shirk leads to slavery, exploitation, right? Shirk itself is not oppression, but leads to oppression. But it's possible that a person pretends to be a Muslim and is a zalim. So, but anyway, one of the important assignments and missions of Nabi and Rasul is to call people to monotheism, right? That Allah is the Khaliq and the Rabb and the Ma'bud, the only one deserving, worthy of my obedience, that worthy of me giving all that I have to Him. وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا. We appointed in every community, in every nation, a messenger. أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهِ, that worship and obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتِ, and stay away from Taghut. Taghut is a person who rebels against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Taghut from Taghi, Tughyan, rebelled against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Justice is the foremost command of Allah. Justice is the foremost command. A ruler who becomes unjust is first of all a taghut against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And ijtanibut taghut, do not associate with taghut. With an oppressor, you should not have any links. Right? Another duty of the Anbiya is to decide and judge between the matters, resolve differences and disputes, all kinds of intellectual disputes, social disputes, political disputes, resolve them. Leadership of society. And when the last of the messengers and prophets of Allah, Khatamun Nabiyyin Muhammad Mustafa he established a state, established an administrative system in the city of Medina, and it expanded. So after his demise, he appointed an imam, so that this issue, or this duty of Nabuwat would rest on the shoulder of someone like the Holy Prophet. So although the Holy Prophet said there will be no Nabi after me, but the position of Nabuwat, the qualities of Nabuwat were very much present. The qualities, all the qualities of Risalat, right, without a new Shariah, were present in the personality of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhi salatu wasalam. Because there's no difference among people between before the Prophet and after. The needs of the people don't change. If they needed a guide, then afterwards also need a guide. And the issue is that we believe that it is by appointment. People cannot come together and elect a Nabi, for example. Some people, very secular people, they think, well, you don't believe in democracy? All the people come and elect and vote for a person, become a prophet, you don't accept it? Okay, let's not talk about Nabuwat. Imamat. Why don't you all believe in democracy? All of you come together and elect an imam. No, it is by appointment. Nas. And why is that so? I will elaborate that more tomorrow night and the day after. But in short, in one line, it is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right of Allah. Right cannot be transferred. For example, you have a right of miras. From your father you inherit so much. You cannot give your right to someone. You can take the money and then you can do whatever with it. You cannot say, I transfer my right. It's God-given right. The right of imamat is way bigger than any other right. The right of Allah, it is exclusive right of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has two important rights. Like any ruler would have two rights. A king, imagine a king, two important rights. First right is to legislate, laws, issues orders. Put this person in prison, or appoints a judge to do it for him. He legislates, order, command, decides in matters, decisions. This is one right. The other right is to appoint a person who he believes will do the job as he wishes to be done. For example, if you have a king who doesn't have the authority to appoint his own wazir, or a wali in another city, or tax collector, or any commander of an army, someone else has the right. Would you call him a king? The king has, his pride. So he has two rights. But we believe this for people. There are some people who say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the first right. He can ask us to pray and fast the way He wants. But He cannot appoint an imam after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When it comes to imam, we will have democracy. We will go to Saqifa, not even democracy. We'll go, 50 people will go in our corner and elect, so-called, in silence or dissent in opposition, force people upon to accept. Whatever be the case, the issue is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabuwat and Risalat, right of Allah. Imamat and Wisayat and Khilafat is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat. Anbiya and Mursaleen, their personality was such that it attracted people. People are attracted by two kinds of things. Just as we have two powers I mentioned in the last 2 nights. We have intellectual powers of knowing something, and also the ability to judge something right and make decisions, correct decisions, moral decisions. Same way, people are also impressed by these two things. Someone who has these two, who has perfected these two qualities in himself, he thinks very rationally. When he presents a case, he can present good arguments and prove something. People are impressed. People like a knowledgeable person. What is a knowledgeable person? Who can define something correctly and argue for something, prove something correctly, make sense when he speaks, right? People are impressed by that. The other thing people are impressed by is character and personality and behavior and the way you speak, fairness, mercy, compassion, love. These behaviors and feelings, both which reflect in the person's character, people are. So both are hujjat. The Dalail and Barahin of our Nabi are just as much of a hujjat for the people from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as his sirat and his uswa and his personality. Both are equally, important. Many people did not ask Rasulullah for logical arguments. Most people actually, they did not ask the Holy Prophet to prove there is one God. Very few people did. They just saw, if this is the behavior, this is the person who calls himself a prophet. If this is the behavior of a person who calls himself a messenger from Allah, then he must be a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? The behavior, the words and etiquettes, the manners, they speak louder than words. And that's what proved to most of the people, his nubuwwat was established without any arguments. Arguments for those who are, there are few people who are philosophers. Technically speaking, we are in a way philosophers, we all ask questions, but in the real sense of the word, very few who mutakallimin or philosopher who have kind of rational discussion, lengthy talk and discussion, back and forth. How is this and why this, why that? Very few people who have the patience for this. It needs a background, it needs sort of special kind of education, a disposition to be dealing with these kind of things. It's not for everyone. It's a kamal, but not for everyone, obviously. It would be good if everybody had it. Allah praised subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةِ. Luqman was not even a Nabi, but he was given hikmat by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Please say the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. behavior in the life of our Prophet, the last Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is narrated that one day the Holy Prophet was, so there are two instances I'll mention briefly. That a person was a criminal, a person who had committed some crime. We don't know the details of that. It was not against the person who had a claim against him, some sort of crime, maybe in a war or something, he had conspired or whatever to be the case, that established that it would be put to death. And the sentence had to be executed. It was sometime soon, So he got really worried. This is about time I will be arrested and taken. The punishment will be rendered to me, right? So he came, he made tawassul. We call it tawassul today because our Imam is in Ghaibat. But he made tawassul to Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. He said, "Oh Ali, show me a way that the Prophet would forgive me. Show me a way that the Prophet would forgive me, right? What can I do?" So Maulana Ali alayhi salam, he said, "Go to the Prophet and read this verse of Surah Yusuf for him." Now, Holy Prophet, obviously, he loved Quran, infinitely. And whenever someone would recite a verse to him, he would recite the next verse. When person come and recite one ayah, Holy Prophet would recite the next ayah of Quran. So Maulana Ali said to him, "Go to the Holy Prophet and say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, قَالُوا تَاللَّهِ لَقَدْ آثَرَكَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا وَإِن كُنَّا لَخَاطِئِينَ." From Surah Yusuf, verse 91. قَالُوا, they said, "By God, God has chosen you over us." That means given you power and influence, right, over the rest of us. وَإِن كُنَّا لَخَاطِئِينَ. Although we were all the wrongdoers. We were wrongdoers and Allah has given you power over us. So he did exactly that. He went to the Holy Prophet and read this ayah of Surah Yusuf alayhi salam. And the Holy Prophet, as soon as he heard this ayah, he read the next ayah, recited the next ayah, which says, Qala means he means Yusuf alayhi salam. La tasriba alaykum al-yawm. No burden of sin upon you from today. Yaghfirullahu lakum wa huwa arhamur rahim. Allah will forgive you, who is the most merciful of all the merciful. Salawat. This recitation of Prophet was taken as a forgiveness, amnesty. So forgive me. The Holy Prophet was a very kind person. His character was. We will go into some of the other discussions about Nubuwwat and Risalah, why they should be Nabi. But it's important to look at this personality of Holy Prophet before being known for all those, details and logical arguments and everything else that Quran brought. They saw Prophet as a person who grew up in the city of Makkah, did not attend any schools, had no teacher, human, who taught him anything. And his personality, they were seeing every day, right? Later on in Medina, the Holy Prophet was sitting one day in the masjid with the ashab. And he was talking to his ashab. Ashab was having a conversation. The Holy Prophet did not never wanted to choose a specific place to sit. A person would enter the masjid would not know who is the Nabi. Would ask, which one of you is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? So he was sitting with his ashab. Of course, those who knew him knew him. So a kani is a maid servant, female, a girl servant of. She just came into the place, and she held a corner of his abba, right, and started pulling it from his, he's wearing it, and she started pulling this from. So the Prophet thought that she probably has a question or she needs something. So he got up to attend to her, whatever she needs. But she pulled back. So he again settled down. Then again she came and pulled his Abba once again. So again he got up to see what she needs from him. But she didn't say anything, she pulled back again. So again the Prophet came and sat down. Third time the same thing happened. She came and pulled his Abba. So the Prophet got up again to see what she needs. Again, she didn't say anything. Again the Prophet sat down. Then the fourth time she came and cut a piece of that Abba and started running away. So the people got really upset. What are you doing? Three times you made him stand up, and now you tore a part of his Abba? You're taking it without his permission? So they were getting upset, but the Prophet calmed them down. She said, the place where I work, we have a person who's Maris. And the people in the house, my masters, they sent me here to bring a small, piece of the Abba of Rasulullah, so tie it on the hand of this Maris for Shifa. So the Prophet, forgive, that's it, let her go. This was the personality of the Holy Prophet. A person on the street, the Holy Prophet was passing by, Yahudi, a Jewish person, came up to the Prophet and held his, graban like this, his shirt like this, pulled it, like whatever he was wearing, the rida on his shoulders, pulled it. He said, give me back my money. So Rasulullah said, first of all, I don't have any money for you. And secondly, you have to allow me to go home and get money for you, because I don't have it on me. Whatever is it you need from me, I don't have it. So he said, no, I want it from you right now. And he started pulling the rida of Holy Prophet strongly. And the Prophet, every time he did that, Prophet, and some people saw it. People saw, they came together. What are you doing? Why are you insulting the old Prophet? Why are you behaving? And the Holy Prophet is the leader of Medina right now. So he did it so many times, he left a mark on the Holy Prophet's neck because of the way he was pulling it. But Rasulullah did not object to that, did not say anything. He just said, I don't have any money that belongs to you, but I will bring it if you let me go home. I will get it for you, because I don't have it on me right now. After some time, he said that if this is your personality, right, then you must be a Nabi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just this behavior, this attitude, this akhlaq of Rasulullah, tolerance, acceptance, forgiveness, and compassion of Rasulullah attracted the masses towards him. In a society that was built on force, and power, people needed to be freed from this oppression that they were living in. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Holy Prophet as a mercy to mankind. Rahmatan lil alameen. Salawat. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now all the divine religions we practice, people have that we see in the world today, are all from the lineage of Prophet Ibrahim. Muslims follow the Holy Prophet, who is a great descendant of Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. Jewish people, they claim to follow Moses. With all the alterations and changes that have happened, they go all the way to Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Same way Jesus, and even Sabians, Sabi'in, to go to Yahya alayhi salam, Zakaria, all the way up to Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam was a prophet, a Nabi, a Khalil, and an Imam. Ja'aluka lin-nasi imama. He pointed Ibrahim alayhi salam, which means he was for the whole world. He was a leader for the whole world. Many Anbiya had responsibility for a certain area, geographical area. Ibrahim alayhi salam was for the whole world. So he had grown to an age 90 plus, close to 100. He did not have a child. All his life, he was praying and hoping that I will have, this faith will continue in my family. More Anbiya and But he was at the age of 100, almost 100 years. His wife is 90 plus, Sarah, and she did not have a child. And the Quran talks about the story, that some young people came to him. Now they were angels, but they came to him in the form of young people, young men. Prophet Ibrahim is from Ur, an area in Iraq. And Iraqis are very hospitable and very generous people. Goes probably in the generation because of the teachings of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. He slaughtered a calf, for these guests, and cooked them, prepared them, and presented the food they did not eat. Now in their culture, and probably still today, I don't know, if you prepare food and if you serve the food and the guest does not eat it, it's not taken as a good sign. You probably have to be a little wary about this person. Why? He became my guest, does not want, why don't you eat from my food? So he asked. So he was a little wary, but they said, don't be afraid. We have been sent, right, with two tests. One is to give you basharat of a son in this age. Now his wife Sarah is standing right there, 90 plus age. And she said, how can I have a child? وَأَنَا عَجُوزٌ aqim. I'm an old woman who is not even able to have a child. Even if I was young, I would not. I was told I could not have a child. I never could have a child. So the angel said, do you have doubt about the order and command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu alaykum ahlul bayt. Mercy of Allah and barakat, not ban barakat, barakatuh alaykum, upon you, O household of ahlul bayt. It means this ahlul bayt has come from Baytullah al-Haram, which is in Makkah, right? Ibrahim was given the task to rebuild the Kaaba, right? With Ismail later on. And then he moved there and he had all of that. The second task we were assigned is that we have been sent to the people of Lut. Lut is a Nabi. Those people were practicing immoral things. And today we have homosexuality. They were moving away from the natural path. The society, the culture in which we are living today, and most places in the world have unfortunately become like that. That some people, when they have more resources, they move towards sin. People, when they don't have so much money, right? They're struggling, they don't go into sin that much. But when they have affluence, when they have money, then the hijab starts going away. Then all the signs of religiosity start evaporating. Then when you are simple, you have struggles in your life, you don't worry about that. You live a normal life. Why people move away from their fitrat? This ghishawa that comes on the heart, this rust that falls on why hearts get rusted. Innal insana la yatgha an ra'ahu istaghna. Human being rebels against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he sees himself strong. An ra'ahu istaghna. He has become mustaghni, become ghani, he has money now. Money means power. Power makes him rebel and arrogant against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he finds justification for doing all kinds of haram things. Drinking becomes okay, adultery becomes okay, homosexuality becomes okay, all of the, and they find all these different reasons for haram things. For oppression, they find justification. We want to promote democracy in this world, we want to do this, war against terror. Why? Because of money. It means power. Power means dominate other people. Rebel against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they were warned the way they were altering their own fitrat, Allah altered everything about them in this dunya. Their abadi, their whole place they were living in, was raised above the ground and turned upside down. Bible also has a mention of the Old Testament. You read that part, it says the whole valley became like a flame of fire. Human beings. So this is some of the duties of a prophet. Now the Prophet Ibrahim a.s. also tried to intercede so that this azab could be evaded or could be altered or delayed. But it was a matter, Allah said, has been decided. It will happen. Like the Qawm Thamud in Hijaz, someplace in Hijaz, Qawm Thamud, which was Prophet Salih alayhi salatu wasalam, still have remains over there. Allah left those remains, and Arabs used to, in their travels, Prophet of Islam, in his journey towards Tabuk, he passed through where the remains of the Qawm Thamud. They used to craft their houses in the mountain. The videos of that are available. You can watch it. See, it's amazing how beautifully they used to craft their houses inside the mountains. They used to live inside the mountains. Their houses were actually like caves, but very beautifully made. So this was their craft. When Salih alayhi salam called them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they said, no, we will not. So he said, what? He said, you must bring some sign. He said, what sign do you want? He said, bring a living she-camel outside of these stones. Make this mountain into a camel. Because that's what they were dealing with. You could craft a house in a mountain, but you cannot turn it into a living animal. Why don't you do that for us? Salih alayhi salam prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and next morning all of these people came out. Salih alayhi salam, with the izn of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asked this mountain, and the stones turned into a camel and walked out of the mountain. Now this was after they promised that if you show us a miracle, we will accept, everything, your message. But despite the Prophet of Allah showing them the sign, they refused. 3 days they were given. And in these 3 days, still that same night they wanted to execute and assassinate the Prophet Salih alayhi salam. But Allah saved them. Despite everything that happened, now their faces changed, their colors changed, a lot of things happened. Now, but the azab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came. Sometimes azab is delayed. By the will of Allah, He knows some things that we don't know. Right? And azab also doesn't come in one way. Sometimes the azab comes like a hurricane or flood, earthquake. And a lot of time azab comes inside the people, the maskh of their fitrat. How they lose their humanity. How their fitrat and their nature is altered to a degree that they cannot be called human beings anymore. That is a bigger azab. So the azab that comes outside, I'm just wrapping up, azab that comes outside, like the azab that came upon the people of Thamud, that was a result of the azab they were experiencing inside but did not realize. For example, a person who hates other people, this is an azab he's in right now. A person who's always looking to exploit other people, he is currently burning in this azab. Right? A person who is arrogant, this is an azab of Allah upon this person. Yeah, it's possible sometimes a person does something wrong and feels sorry about it. Being sorry is a good thing. Because this in some hadiths we find this is kind of a kafara for the sin also. Okay, I said something I shouldn't have said to someone, I feel sorry about it. Maybe look for an opportunity where I could, apologize. But this feeling of remorse that I feel inside me, this huzn, grief that I feel because I did something wrong, this itself is a rahmat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? There's some people who say, I feel bad, I shouldn't feel bad, I shouldn't feel guilty. Why should I feel guilty about something? They go to a counselor, they don't realize they should correct their actions. The solution of this problem is not with the counselor. The solution of the problem is for them to fix something. For example, how you get along with other people, how you deal with your family, your relatives. There are people out there who probably need my help. If not financially, some other ways they need my help, or even du'as. Those who have passed away, they need my du'as right now. My parents, my other relatives. There are other Muslims who need my help. I cannot probably not help them other ways. I can speak about what's happening. I can, do some other help, provide some other help to them. You see, Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, their characters should be seen first. And Quran directs our attention all the time to the past events. The people say, why in Karbala you come around and talk about something that happened 13, 1400 years ago? Well, Quran does the same thing. Quran talks about something that happened 5,000 years ago before the Quran. 7,000, 9,000 years ago, Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. And Quran cries over, Qutila ashabul ukhdud. Why were they thrown in the fire, those mu'mineen? Quran has Majalis in it. According to Qaraati, he says very beautifully, بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. Those girls that were buried alive in Makkah before the start of Islam, they were not Muslims. Quran cries for them. بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. Why was that baby girl, that infant, why was she executed, buried alive? Why? Quran talks about the past. وَقْصُصِ الْقَصَصِ. Talk about Ahsan al-Qasas, Quran, Surah Yusuf. We relate to you the best of stories, we tell you about this, talked about the past. Why? Because everything about the past determines who we are today. Why? Because our support, emotional support for someone, or our dislike for someone, or some event that happened many, many years ago, it is the root of my attitudes today about what is good and what is bad in my time. If I feel grief for Imam Hussain alayhi salam, that means today I will speak about Imam Hussain alayhi salam, and I will promote his message, and I will support the Mazlumeen today. And if I feel, God forbid, some justification for why Yazid had to kill Imam Hussain alayhi wasallam, then I will be the one who will also find justifications for those who are killing innocent human beings today. It translates into that. Because al-hubbu wal-bughz, love and grudge should be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you love Imam Hussain alayhi wasallam, this itself is a great ibadat. It is narrated that Mawla Ali alayhi salam, after the battle of Siffin, he was passing through Karbala. Ibn Abbas narrates his account that Imam alayhi salam stopped there. And he sat down on the plain of Karbala. Ibn Abbas didn't know. Abdullah ibn Abbas didn't know what is going on, what place is this. And Imam alayhi salam, his eyes were full of tears. And he asked for water for wuzu, and he started salat. After praying in sajda, he was crying a lot. He said, Ibn Abbas, do you know this place? If you had ma'rifat of... Because Ibn Abbas asked him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, why are you crying so much? He said, if you had the ma'rifat that I have, you would cry with me. Imam Ali alayhi salam briefly closed his eyes after the salat, and then he woke up. He said, Ibn Abbas, do you want me to tell you what I saw? He said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, you must have seen something good. He says, I saw that there are white flags, right, coming down from the heaven on this ground. And these people who come down with these bright white flags, they draw a line around this whole region, this whole area on the ground. And I see these nakhl, these trees, date trees, their branches are like flapping, they're throwing themselves on the ground, hitting the ground. And I see the ground has become like an ocean of blood. And I see my Hussein swimming in this ocean of blood. And he is asking, يَسْتَغِيثُ فَلَا يُغَاثُ. And he is seeking help And he's asking, Hal min mu'inin yu'inuna? Hal min nasirin yansuruna? Hal min dhabin yadubbu an harami Rasulullah? Is there anyone to help? And he's drowning in this ocean of blood, and no one comes to help my Hussein. And when I saw this, I was crying and said, Sabr, my son Hussein. And I saw these people who had come from the heaven saying, Ya Abul Hasan, don't worry, this son you have will bring Shifa'at on the day of judgment. We will make you proud on the day of judgment. Let's talk about one of the Shuhada and Ansar of Imam. We have so many martyrs in Karbala, and all the day of Ashur, from morning till night, till afternoon, one by one they gave their lives. Hur is one of them. Hur is a very famous commander. He stopped the caravan of Imam Hussain, did not let them arrive into Kufa. And when things changed and he realized that water has been blocked, children are crying, Al-Atash all this night, and morning the war began, and he came to Umar ibn Sa'd, said, are you going to fight Hussein? He said, yes, fight has begun. Heads will be cut off today. He distanced himself, and he was thinking, his body was shaking. Somebody asked him, Hur, if someone would have asked me who is the most brave person in Kufa, I would have definitely taken your name. But what is going on with you? Why is your body trembling like this? And Hur says, I see myself between heaven and hell. Now heaven for Hur is Hussein, and hell is all these other people on the other side. Hell is Yazid and Umar ibn Sa'd and Shimr and Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, these are hell. And heaven is Hussein and Abbas and Qasim, Abul Fazl, all those who are with Imam Hussain. This is heaven, although they are deprived of water. Now he takes his brother and his son and his servant with him, and he comes to the camp. He's distancing himself. He galloped and came to Imam Hussain. Now Hur has his hands on his head, and his face is bowing down because he feels very embarrassed. Imam Hussain is standing by one of the poles of the tent. He's standing over there. He notices that Hur is arriving. He looks up to him. And he says, Hur, look up. Irfa' ra'sak. Imam Hussain cannot see a Shia, a mu'min, a follower of Imam Hussain bowing down, feeling so down. No, he says, Irfa' ra'sak. You must hold your head up high. He says, Yabna Rasulullah, I was the one who blocked your path, caused so much fear for your family, deprived them from order. I did all this. Is there a way for me to have tawbah? And Imam's answer was very short. He said, In tubta taba Allahu alayk. If you turn towards Allah, He will turn to you. And then he sent his brother to fight. He sent his son to fight. Then he sent his servant, and then he went himself. Now many accounts in history, some go up to 80 people he killed over there. Very famous. Then they all gathered around him and hit him with stones and arrows. And it was so unfair, And when he was hit by an arrow on his forehead, that he could not stay on the horse. He cried and said, Ya Abu Abdullah adrikni. Now I wonder what Hur is thinking. Will Hussein come to me on my side after what I have done, after how I treated the family of Rasulullah, after all that I have done? I mean, this is too big of an honor to expect Hussein al-Islam on my side. And Imam Hussain al-Islam came fast, approached him on his side, had his head on his lap, and took out this, handkerchief from his pocket, which was made by his mother, Fatima, and tied it around the forehead of Hur. Some write that Hur used to put his head down because he said that today you are with me, Ya Abu Abdullah, but when your son dies, who will be there? When you die, who will be there? ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج اللهم عجل لوليك اللهم عجل اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين واخذل الكفار والمشركين والمنافقين اللهم اقض حوائج المؤمنين والمؤمنات